Before we get started here today, I want to acknowledge the very sad and tragic, just horrific shooting death of Jonathan Joss, who, as you all know, voiced John Redcorn on King of the Hill and did a lot of other things in his career as well. A very beloved actor. And again, just a horrific, horrific situation. Everything's sort of still unfolding as I record this. And the video you're going to watch today about the news of King of the Hill's return, this time on Hulu, brand new network, was recorded before this incident took place. But I wanted to acknowledge this today before we move forward. So all the best to his husband, to his family, his friends, and his fans. Jonathan Joss will be missed. One of TV's most underrated classics of all time is back, and longtime fans could not be more excited. But can King of the Hill really work in 2025? New network, new stories, familiar faces, but a whole new Arlen. Are you ready for the return of the Hill family? We're diving into that and a whole lot more, so let's get to it. Hey kids, what is up? Welcome back to Tom Clark Reviews, the only pop culture show hosted by a guy named Tom Clark that looks like this, wearing this, and saying stuff. Before we get started today, do me a favor, kids, if you will. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Now, today we're talking about the return of King of the Hill. Yes, it's another revival, but this one feels different. Why? Because King of the Hill was never really just a comedy. It was real. It had heart. It had awkward, lovable, quirky characters that hit close to home. And whenever you watch this show, you came away feeling like you actually watched a show. It wasn't just animated. It wasn't just a comedy. It meant something to you. That's why it's important. But the real question is, can they recapture that magic in 2025? Can they do it? Will this show succeed on every level? Or is this just going to be another nostalgic cash grab? Now, the show is back with original creators Mike Judge and Greg Daniels behind the wheel. That's already a big plus. These guys know these characters better than anyone. Now, Mike Judge, for those of you who may not be familiar with him outside of this show, is also the creator of Beavis and Butthead, one of the most ridiculous, stupid, asinine, yet ridiculously funny things I have ever seen in my life. I've always been a big Beavis and Butthead fan. I'm not in any sort of denial, kids. I'm upfront and blunt with you. I love Beavis and Butthead. I just can't help myself. And of course, Judge is not only the creator, but he does a lot of voices. And of course, he is back on this show as the primary character, Hank Hill. Judge is joined by the stellar returning cast of this show. We've got Kathy Najimy as Peggy Hill, Pamela Adlon as Bobby Hill, Stephen Root as Bill Dauterive, Ashley Gardner as Nancy, Lauren Tom as Min, and David Herman is back in multiple roles. Now, before his untimely passing in 2023, Johnny Hardwick, the voice of Dale Gribble, one of the most beloved characters on this show, did record 6 episodes for this new series. And after that, Toby Huss, yes, the OG voice of Khan, is stepping into the role. And this cast lineup gives me a lot of hope. I mean, these are the characters. This is what made everyone fall in love with this series to begin with. So the core of this show is back, and that's a very good thing. Well, let's talk about how this show previously ended and what we know about how it's going to pick up now. At the end of King of the Hill's original run on Fox in 2010, the Hills were facing some big life changes. Hank and Peggy had moved temporarily to Saudi Arabia for Hank's job, leaving Bobby to fend for himself in Texas. Now, the series finale didn't wrap everything up neatly, but it did leave fans wondering what life would be like for Bobby growing up without his parents around and how the rest of Arlen would keep ticking along. Now, with the revival on Hulu, we're jumping ahead several years to see what's happened since then. That's right, kids. That's the rub for this new series. It picks up in real time. Bobby is now 21 years old and trying to make it as a chef in Dallas, while Hank and Peggy are back and picking up their lives as they had them before in Arlen. But that's not all, as Dale is running for mayor. Boomhauer might be settling down. Shocker with that one. And also, Bill is dealing with some health issues post-COVID. So again, this isn't just a reboot. This isn't just a return of the show. This is full-on evolution for these characters. And let's talk about that new opening sequence that just dropped online. You guys seen this? It's modernized, yes, but it's still full of those backyard vibes we loved. Same energy, new era. By the way, how are we feeling about the return of this show in real time versus how this series originally ended? Is it a gimmick? Are you here for it? Is it too wonky to see animated characters aged up and in different clothing and all that stuff? I'd like to know what you think. Do me a favor. Hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Now let's talk about the good, the bad, and the in between. First, the good. Let's start with what I flat out love about this revival. We have creative continuity. Greg Daniels and Mike Judge are back, and that is everything. We have character growth. Bobby as an adult? Come on, man. I mean, that opens up some real storytelling opportunities. How often does that even happen in animation? When it comes to the voice talent, we're bringing back most of the original cast and even using Johnny Hardwick's recordings. That shows that they care about getting this series right. We also have modern context. This show will be addressing real world issues without losing that dry Texas humor. Is that going to be the case? I mean, because if so, that could really work. But now let's talk about the bad. I'll be honest, I don't have a whole lot of complaints here, but I maybe do have a couple of red flags. First off, again, the sad passing of Johnny Hardwick. Dale is such a huge part of this show. And while it's great that Tubby Huss is going to take over the reins of the voice, he is incredibly talented. But let's be honest, losing Johnny hurts. It's going to be tough emotionally to watch those episodes. There's also the delayed payoff. A lot of fans were expecting this revival earlier. With a 2025 release, it's been a slow rollout. That means expectations are sky high, and we all know what that can lead, especially in this day and age of social media, where everybody kind of hates everything all the time. Am I wrong? Now let's talk about the in-between. Will there be a tone shift in this series? Will the humor stand out? Will it land in today's world? The original show was subtle. Will they keep that low-key charm or try to go for big modern audiences? I think if they stick to what works, it should work. Honestly, I think if they stick to what brought them to the dance, this show should be successful. I just don't want to see too many changes in terms of how they approach the comedy and approach these characters as well. Then there's the streaming format. All 10 episodes are dropping at once. Now, that's great for binging, but this isn't a shock value kind of show. King of the Hill was always about slow burn storytelling. Can it still thrive in the age of viral content? Then we have new viewers. Will younger audiences get this show? Or is this mostly going to be for the fans, the older fans who grew up with it? I got to be honest, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for this show. I always loved King of the Hill. I hope this thing works, honestly. This show was never loud. It was never flashy, but it had a lot of heart. It made you feel things. It was funny. The characters were genuine. And again, slow burn storytelling, consistency, continuity with characters. I was always a big fan and have always been a big fan of that type of storytelling. And if this revival can find a way to hold on to that storytelling spirit, yet give us something new and fresh at the same time and be funnier than ever, let's face it, kids, we have a hit on our hands if all that works out. But what do you think? Will this show stay true to its roots? Can it stay true to its roots? Are you excited to see Bobby all grown up? What sort of jokes are going to be happening this time around? Is Hank going to be the same old guy he always was? Will Peggy be the same wife she always was? Will these characters have changed from living in Saudi Arabia all these years? What about Dale running for mayor? What about Boomhauer settling down? Are you kidding me? Bill. No one can replace Bill Dauterive, one of my favorite characters of all time. Is it going to work? Again, we've got a whole lot of questions and very few answers. But this thing is dropping in August of 2025. So we will all find out together. But let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts. Hit me in the comments right now and let's talk about it. In the meantime, stay tuned for a lot more. And please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Thanks for watching Tom Clark Reviews, and we'll see you next time, kids.